Welcome to Messages for Humanity. I am Grace. So honored and grateful to share a message from my beloved son, John. Oh, we got to see him a little bit better here. Here we go. That's better, huh? All right. Oh, this table's a little bouncy. Let's find his message here. Empowered responsibility. And this is from our book, Empowerment, which you can find on our website, oneworldstudio.com, under the library. This is a tricky one. Empowering and discovering ways of being around intellectual and emotional responsibility take many forms. When you are not accountable for your own stuff, mentally and emotionally, spiritually, you cannot heal and grow. Because our world reflects our minds, you will see that people who are not responsible for their emotional impact are also not responsible for their physical things and physical commitments. Bills may be late, work is procrastinated, toys left outside to rust, house dirty, or having chronic problems of not keeping their word. Taking responsibility for our consciousness committed to our word, being responsible for our environment, whether in a state of physical order or disorder, is power. With power comes responsibility. Only when we become responsible can we evolve our consciousness and grow. Disempowered chronic ways of being, like blaming and faulting, pointing our fingers, playing the victim, withholding our love, irritation, will take all ever-changing forms. The forms change, but what we want to unveil is the original wound. We often get distracted by the form, tempted to buy in and sell out on our happiness, judging the other, whether a person, organization, or situation, and not looking deeper for where we have co-created the upsetting situation. What the lesson is for us, what we need to heal and surrender in order to be free. We are disempowered when we fail to look for how we have co-created the circumstance, how we are projecting, refusing to look within to heal our wounds, or how we are disempowered in the circumstance and not taking responsibility for our part. What often stops us is not wanting to blame or shame ourselves, because we feel shame, and all shame towards self is unjust and a lie. We confuse taking responsibility with taking on fault, when it is about learning and growing powerfully. Taking responsibility may be as simple as, rather than believing someone else is judging us, noticing and learning where we are judging others, or where we are judging ourselves. If we can take responsibility for where we are disempowered in a situation, without blaming or faulting ourselves or another, we can shift into being more and more empowered. In most all circumstances that are upsetting, there is a co-creation. If you witness a drama and you are not upset by it, it doesn't trigger you, and you can simply just let it go. You don't have any work to do. Keep being the witness. When you exist in witness, simply being the neutral observer, we refuse to engage in the drama. Instead, we choose to experience our present moment peace as neutral, content, and peaceful. In this state of mind, a space and place that is steps back from the physical, looking upon the situation from a more distant perspective through a higher aspect of your mind, the Vijnanamaya Kosha. However, if a circumstance occurs and you feel triggered in any form, worry, hurt, offended, jealous, upset, unfair, you cannot let it go easily. If you get drawn into the drama and perpetuate the upset, then it has triggered something in you, a wound or hurt that needs healing and release. Yes, there are unkind people who do unkind things, yet an empowered person doesn't take it personal and doesn't engage in the drama. They may have a moment of WTF, but they let it go and enjoy their day. A disempowered person will get pulled into the upset, become triggered from their own wounds, victim conversation every day for the next week. There is nothing empowering about engaging in a pain loop with the voice of the ego mind or outwardly conversation repeating the disempowering story over and over again. As a co-creator in the upsetting situation, you will always get more of what you focus on. After a breakup in a relationship, I would often have an inner voice that would be ranting consistently about how the other person was wrong. Retell the many tales of rejection, lots of story and detail, but the bottom line is that when I listen to this voice, I wasn't taking responsibility for my part in the relationship. And everything is always co-created. Maybe if I listen deeper to these voices, they will help me release and heal something within me. Maybe a focus on being honestly responsible for my part in the relationship and how I can choose differently and hire more empowered responses in all my relationships moving forward. To ponder on my appreciation for the great times, the gifts of service he provided, the love, the growth of our relationship that our relationship provided, both of our souls. Without taking responsibility, you cannot allow the contrast and struggle to be a teaching experience. You cannot expect to allow the experience to expand you, shine you up, to learn and grow from it until you become responsible and accountable for your part in it and move beyond and higher. The lessons begin when you step up to see your part, becoming responsible, accountable for your actions, witnessing higher ways to handle it in the future, and ultimately letting it go and moving on in peace. You don't necessarily need to even do anything unless guided in order to be responsible. Sometimes you can realize where you have been responsible for a disempowering way of being and how that may have caused tension in the relationship, and powerfully choose to let those ways go and all the victim go and commit to shifting into your power now with the one you are with. Empowered people use life in all its contrasts and opportunities to learn and grow, shine you up to be a more radiant being, rather than shriveling up as a bitter old person pointing fingers of blame. Thank you for joining me for Messages for Humanity. I am Grace, John's mother. These are messages from John in heaven that he shares with me. And this is from our book, Empowerment. So please, if you'd like to buy, if you're If you got something out of this and you'd like to learn more, then yeah, purchase a book. Wishing you a most beautiful and most blessed day. Namaste.